Shalom, family. This is your brother Rael from Reunited Soul coming to you once again with another thought-provoking discussion. Not just telling you what you may want to hear, but rather telling you what you need to hear through Scripture, which will be useful to you in these prophetic days that we find ourselves in. If this is your first time listening, welcome to the channel. Now, it's been a while since I posted my last video discussion in January of 2024. That's about a year and a half ago. Some of you reached out to me in the comment section, and I truly appreciate that. Much love to you all. All is well with me and the family. And as I said before, I am no YouTuber. I was able for a season to utilize this channel and provide vital information to my people. And I can only give what's provided for me to give. Nothing more, nothing less. However, I do miss posting videos, interacting with viewers, and learning from my brothers and sisters who freely share their knowledge and wisdom in the comment section. I do miss that connection very much. As with most of my video discussions, I will speak on the topic at hand, provide any historic background if necessary, connect any dots if it has any relation to prophecy, and provide scriptures that are relevant to the discussion. So if it seems that I'm veering off topic, I'm simply connecting the dots to other relevant events or issues. With that said, something of interest has come up and I'm returning to address it, to give my perspective in regards to its possible relevance to us as a people, and more importantly, to bring in remembrance what thus said the Most High, who has set the narrative on prophetic events that are to come, as in judging the nations and delivering his people out of captivity. Such things the heathen would love for us to forget. However, we as the Most High's people cannot forget. Although it has been 400 years of affliction while serving others, as foretold in Genesis chapter 15 verse 13. Although we have experienced the brutality from the nation of fierce continents, which have no regard for the elderly or show favor to the young, as foretold in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 50. Although we were scattered among all people while serving their gods, as foretold in Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64. We, as a people, are programmed to understand these prophetic events as merely black history or black culture. Case in point, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 64, serving gods that our biblical fathers knew not. The black community before gentrification had the most churches in our communities than any other nationality of people. Almost a church on every street corner. Indeed, worshiping a God that was never mentioned by name in the entire so-called Old Testament. Hence, a God our biblical fathers knew not. Let me repeat that. Worshiping a God that was never mentioned by name in the entire so-called Old Testament. Hence, a God our biblical fathers knew not. This is prophecies, brothers and sisters. Yet, we as a people are programmed to see it as culture or history. Basically, an excessive occurrence of misfortunate circumstances for the past 400 plus years. Nothing more, nothing less. Nothing to see here. No biblical connection whatsoever. I do often go on these side discussions about the heathen so you will understand the depth of how diabolical their transgressions have been over the centuries toward the Most High's people, so that you may further understand the magnitude of the judgment that is coming for them. Our Holy Scriptures forewarns a time that's coming, a time like no other, the day of the Lord as it's called. Let's go to Obadiah chapter 1 verse 15, and I read, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Now, although the book of Obadiah is in regards to the prophetic judgment of Edom, please note that verse 15 refers to all the heathen, not just Edom. As Psalms 83 states, there are many nations confederate against the Most High's people, and Edom is first on the list. So on this channel, Reunited Soul, I'm in full agreement with the Most High's judgment of all the heathen, which includes the Edomites as well. All who are confederate against the Most High's people are going to answer for their transgressions. And he is more than capable of sorting out his enemies to exact judgment and justice to them all. All praise to the Most High Yah. Lastly, the heathen knows the day of the Lord is coming. And what that may look like, we may never know until the day it arrives. As a result, every unknown object moving around in space is suspect until proven otherwise by the heathen. Which brings us to the topic of this discussion. An interstellar object detected back in July 2025 has entered our solar system. Solar meaning sun. One sun in our solar system, and the planets and asteroids revolve around the sun's powerful gravitational pull. Keeping in mind that the sun is the largest mass in our solar system that attracts a lot of attention, which is why many of the heathen worship the sun under various religions. And if you have any doubts about that, just look at the names given to the planets in our solar system. They're named after Greek and Roman gods and goddesses, with the exception of the earth, of course. Idolatry is hidden in plain sight all around us, brothers and sisters. So this interstellar object has entered our solar system, traveling independent of the sun's powerful gravitational pull and moving faster than anything ever recorded. This is the third object on record to have visited our solar system. Only 3 since 2017, brothers and sisters. This is big news, and they have been closely watching deep space activity for some time now, very intently, spending billions of dollars looking, not necessarily for a planet to visit, but something they know will eventually visit ours. Can this third object be that visitor? I'll briefly address all 3 of these interstellar visitors. Then you can determine for yourself if there is cause for concern, celebration, or nothing to see here at all. There are all sorts of speculation as to what this object may be. A comet, an asteroid, an alien ship. Time will reveal what this object is and the nature of why it entered our solar system, rather randomly or intentional. My goal in this discussion is to simply put things in a timeline perspective by the information we already have up to the time of posting this video. We seem to be getting weekly updates as this object draws nearer to the sun and closer to the earth. I would also like to point out that there are some legitimate concerns about this interstellar object in the scientific community as well as the military community. So this object may be worthy of conversation. Now allow me to break down the name assigned to it. 3I Atlas. The 3 in the name identifies that this is the third recorded object to have entered our solar system. The I identifies that it's interstellar in nature. The word Atlas is the acronym for the telescopic system which detected this object. Atlas, which stands for Asteroid Terrestrial Impact Last Alert System. Some scientific observers say that 3I Atlas is a very large asteroid that has randomly strayed into our solar system, while others say that 3I Atlas is, well, let's say an object that is moving faster than anything they have ever recorded, moving independently of the sun's gravitational pull, and has purposely entered our solar system for reasons unknown. In other words, 3I Atlas is on its own course trajectory. It is also worth noting that 3I Atlas trajectory will allow it to pass close to Venus, Mars, and Jupiter's orbital plane, utilizing their planetary gravitational pull as a form of slingshot, if you will, to strategically enhance its high rate of speed. What is meant by strategically enhancing its rate of speed, if there were some kind of alien craft, chariot, and let's not rule out angelic being. Such a maneuver close to these planets, utilizing their gravitational pull, would save fuel, time, and energy. Now, in addition to this strategic maneuver, 3I Atlas predicted trajectory at the time of making this video will use the sun as cover in late October 2025, hiding it from view of Earth's telescopes, with scientific observers expecting it to reappear from behind the sun in December 2025. That's about a month's time of not knowing what this interstellar object is doing, if it changes its trajectory or release smaller probes, which can be very concerning. So the question remains, is this maneuver with the sun intentional or purely coincidental? Although the sun is a long distance away from Earth, 3I Atlas is said to be moving at a rate of 130,000 miles per hour. That's about 58 kilometers per second. And just to put that rate of speed in context, the speed of the fastest missile in the world at the time of this video post is the hypersonic missile that can reach speeds up to Mach 27. That's a mere 20,000 miles per hour, compared to 3I's Atlas, 130,000 miles per hour. So when you do the math, you can probably understand the concern if this object happens to be navigated by a technology that could run circles around any missile defense technology that we have. Very concerning, military-wise indeed. Since 3I Atlas is the third object to have entered our solar system, I will briefly mention the other two that preceded it. The first object that entered our solar system was detected when it came closest to the Earth in October 2017 by the Pan-STARRS-1 telescope in Hawaii. They named the first object Oumuamua, which means messenger in the Hawaiian language. The name seems quite appropriate for it being the first of its kind. Traveling at a rate of 87,000 miles per hour, it moved on to pass Mars' orbit in November of 2017, continued past Jupiter in 2018, Neptune in 2022, and is expected to depart our solar system by 2038. So, the messenger, as it's called, is actually still in our solar system. The second object to have entered our solar system was detected in August of 2019 by an amateur astronomer. They named the second object 2I Borisov. The 2 represents the second object to have entered our solar system. The I represents that it's interstellar in nature, and Borisov is the last name of the astronomer who detected it. Traveling at a rate of 110,000 miles per hour, it came closest to the sun and the Earth in December of 2019, and due to its high rate of speed, 2I Borisov exited our solar system in mid-2020. Now this could be coincidental, but if we looked at the sequence of these three objects that visited our solar system, we will see that they were faster than the previous and physically larger in size. Where Oumuamua and 2I Borisov measured a few thousand feet in length, 3I Atlas is measured in miles. Now, to be quite honest, I was not aware of Oumuamua or 2I Borisov prior to learning about 3I Atlas, which is definitely getting a lot more media attention. Why is that? Perhaps they're expecting something far worse than the previous two, and I'll touch on that in a moment. So by now you may be wondering, what do these three interstellar objects represent, or what does it have to do with us? At this time I cannot say with certainty, but it's definitely worth our attention because it definitely has the attention of powerful governments. At the very least, you may find the timing of these objects, whatever they may be, quite interesting. Now let's delve in the timing of the first object that entered our solar system, Oumuamua, the messenger, detected in October of 2017. What significant events happens around this time of year on the Hebrew calendar? Our biblical ancestors' holy days, Feast of Trumpets, Day of Atonement, Feast of Tabernacles. Now, I don't know about you, but this seems like a good time for a messenger to arrive, wouldn't you think? As in, let my people go, that they may worship me. Sounds familiar, right? Now granted, if there ever was a message sent to any of our governments, we may never know. However, you may ask yourself, why would the message be sent to the governments? Because they're in rulership. They're the ones watching and listening to the skies, and they have the ability to act upon any message delivered. Just like Pharaoh of ancient Egypt, who was given the message to let the Most High's people go, that they may worship him. And to be clear, that was not a request. But just like Pharaoh, our modern day governments won't comply. Nevertheless, before judgment falls, there's always that opportunity given to comply, to repent, to make amends, to make atonements, to make reparations, just make things right. And I can hear the heathen's response to such a message would go something like, nobody's stopping black people from worshiping the Most High. As a matter of fact, we'll be happy to see them leave. It'll probably sound something of that nature, right? But please understand, when our slave ancestors were so-called freed, they were let go without compensation for their forced labor. Once freed, all they had was the tattered rags on their backs. They had no education, no homes, no property, and no proper representation. Which means, to earn a living wage, they had to depend on the very people that enslaved them. Even when our freed ancestors were fortunate enough to build thriving communities such as Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, they were destroyed. That's not deliverance, brothers and sisters, nor is it freedom. And it would be remiss of me if I didn't mention the 1862 District of Columbia Compensated Emancipation Act, which compensated slave owners for the loss of their slaves. The slave owners were compensated. This is simply diabolical, brothers and sisters. This nation and its people have a lot to answer for. Now, deliverance, on the other hand, is what happened to our biblical ancestors in Egypt. They didn't leave empty-handed. They acquired silver and gold from the Egyptians before leaving. So, in regards to the heathens' argument of black people are free to go, deliverance is not that simple. Please understand, by the time the Most High's wrath is upon the heathen, they will be demanding that we take reparations and whatever else we may require for our journey. The prophecy of our deliverance will simply have to run its course to the Most High's glory. And let me be very, very clear. You cannot make things right with the Most High without making things right with the person or people that you transgressed against. Let me repeat that. You cannot make things right with the Most High without making things right with the person or people that you transgressed against. Although your religion may tell you different, your lip service to the Most High, a verbal apology to the Most High which costs you nothing, does not clear you or your people from centuries of afflicting His people. The Most High is a just Elohim with an eye for an eye, life for a lifestyle of justice, and justice will be served in full to a massive amount of people with blood on their hands. An atonement must be made, and many religious people have no idea what an atonement is or what justice even looks like. Whatever was stolen or destroyed must be restored in greater quantity. Let's go to our Holy Scriptures. Exodus chapter 22 verse 1, and I read, "If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep." Simply put, the value of that which was taken must be recompensed by an even greater quantity. This is scripture, brothers and sisters. It's the Most High's law. And justice has no time limits. Transgressions simply do not expire with time. They don't go away. Justice demands recompense. The black community, for example, have been pleading and demanding reparations due to the 246 plus years of brutal chattel slavery. Afterwards, about 90 years of Jim Crow laws. Then after that, decade upon decade of systematic state-sponsored injustices to the present day. How do you atone or make amends for such egregious transgressions conducted for such a long period of time? How do you even calculate the debt owed? Even if it could be calculated, would they be willing to pay? I think we all know the answer to that question. All these things must be factored in to have an idea of what's coming. Who's it's coming for, and the magnitude of the judgment that will follow. Moving right along to the second visitor, two-eye burst off, which was detected around August 2019. Again, what significant event happened around this time? Our 400-year captivity, according to Genesis chapter 15, verse 13, was completed. According to historical records, the English ship named the White Lion landed in Virginia August 1619, kicking off the slave trade in the land that would later form the United States of America. Now, many people are not aware that the virus that caused the pandemic showed up in late 2019, hence where it got the name. It just happened to blow out of control in 2020, thus causing the lockdowns. So here we are, currently witnessing the third visitor of our solar system, 3i Atlas. All government eyes are on it. First detected in July of 2025. Significantly larger and traveling at a rate much faster than the previous 2 visitors. Is there a significance in the time that it was detected? If you know of one, please place it in the comment section. Now, I do have legitimate questions. Do we see a pattern or sequence here? First, the messenger in 2017 during our biblical ancestors' holy days. Then the second visitor arrived at the end of the 400-year prophecy of Genesis, chapter 15, verse 13, with a worldwide pandemic occurring shortly afterwards. What, if anything, will accompany this third visitor? Is Three-Eyed Atlas the last, or will there be others? Is there a cause for concern or celebration? Is it the aliens once described by ancient civilizations, a chariot of the Most High, an angelic being sent for judgment, or is it just a random asteroid from another solar system? In any case, Three-Eyed Atlas, whatever it may be, is drawing a lot of attention from governments around the world. They know their judgment is coming. We know our deliverance is coming. They're watching intently and making plans for all possibilities. At the very least, we should be paying attention. Wouldn't you agree? If you feel that the content of this discussion was useful and would like to provide moral support to this channel, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share this video, or just share a few words of encouragement in the comment section. Your moral support is greatly appreciated. And whether you agree or disagree with the content of this discussion, feel free to express it in the comment section where we can learn more from one another. I do respect your knowledge and opinions. Therefore, I ask that you do the same to all who post in the comment section. With that said, always keep your trust in the Most High. Love Him with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. See to it that your household is in line with the word of the Most High as best you can. I thank you for taking the time to watch. Again, I am Rael, your reunited soul brother. And with that, I say to you, Shalom.